The Mahasangha of 29 countries chant Pirit, invoking blessings for the world population. The central bank informs that the foreign exchange reserves are in a satisfactory level. 681 houses have been damaged by the storm that hit several areas in the country. 500,000 Sri Lankans are thalassemia patients. And in news overseas, China is purchasing oil from Iran by paying yuan, which is its own currency.
We take a look at those stories in detail now. The Ashirvada Puja of the World Buddhist Congress for invoking blessings on the world population for peace and reconciliation was held at Nelumpokuna Mahinda Rajapaksa Performance Theatre today. More than 500 Buddhist monks representing 29 countries attended the function. The World Buddhist Congress was established in Sri Lanka in 1967 and it includes members from over 30 countries now. The Congress includes all Buddhist Nikayas, including the Theravada, Mahayana, Vajrayana and Tantrayana Nikayas. The Sri Lankan chapter of the World Buddhist Congress organized the Ashirvada Puja in line with the 2600th Sri Sambuddhatva Jayanti anniversary. The ceremony commenced under the leadership of the chairman of the World Buddhist Congress, Venerable Yung Chung Thera. The ceremony was attended by a large number of Sri Lankan Buddhist monks, led by the Mahanayaka of the Sri Lanka Amarapura Mahasangha Sabhava, Venerable Pandit Daulden Gnanasara Thera. President Mahinda Rajapaksa also joined the inaugural moments of the Pinkam ceremony. Buddhist monks chanted Pirit at the ceremony, invoking blessings on the people of the world. The chairman of the World Buddhist Congress, Venerable Dr. Yung Chung Thera, said that he is happy about holding the Ashirvada Puja such as this in Sri Lanka. This is a very important occasion for the international Buddhist community, he said. He said also that they thank the President and the government of Sri Lanka for organizing a ceremony of this nature. He said that on the 2600th Sri Sambuddhatva Jayanti anniversary, he calls upon the international community to give up manufacturing harmful weapons. He said that everyone should work only towards the benefit of all people. Meanwhile, the chairman of the organizing committee, Venerable Dr. Bellangwila Vimalaratna Thera, delivered the welcoming Anusasana. The General Secretary of the World Buddhist Congress, Venerable Dr. Bellangwila Vimalaratna Thera, said that this is not just a summit, but a special occasion to invoke blessings on all the people of the world. For the first time, Buddhist monks from all countries are participating in an occasion such as this in Sri Lanka. This is a historical opportunity for Sri Lanka. The Presidential Advisor for International Buddhist Affairs, Venerable Dr. Bodhagama Chandima Thera, said that this is a great opportunity to propagate Buddhism throughout the world. The delegation of monks are scheduled to conduct Pirit chanting ceremonies at the Sri Dalanda Maligava in Kandy and the Jayasri Mahabodhiya in Anuradhapura.
Well, the central bank informs that foreign reserves in the country are in an appreciable position at the moment. By the month of May, the foreign reserves amount to $5.9 billion. This was stated by the governor of the central bank, Ajit Nimad Cabral, at a media conference held in Colombo today. Even in the midst of global economic setbacks, Sri Lanka was able to achieve a growth rate of 8.3% last year. The central bank informed that at a time even the United States, China and India could not achieve their respective targets, Sri Lanka's achievement is very significant. The bank said that due to increase of motor vehicle imports by 86% and the expenditure for fuel imports, there was a pressure on the Sri Lankan economy during the latter period of 2011. The governor of the central bank, Ajit Nimad Cabral, said that, however, direct foreign income will increase up to $2 billion this year.
One of the risks that we had was a high credit growth and the monetary expansion. We dealt with it with a policy rate increase, as well as requesting the banks to make certain limitations in their credit, which we expect to result in the monetary expansion coming down. Then the widening trade deficit was also addressed, and the pressure on exchange rate was addressed by allowing more flexibility in the exchange rate. Government increased the duties on motor vehicles, and certain adjustments were made in the foreign exchange dealings itself.
The governor of the bank said that the budget deficit, which stands at 6.9% of the GDP, will go down to 6.2% next year.
If you look at the way in which the behavior of our reserves have taken place, we want to assure the investment public that it has been always in comfortable levels, and we have ensured that we remain so as well.
The storm that hit several areas yesterday damaged 681 houses and left 234 houses partially damaged, the Disaster Management Centre said. Several villages in the north-central, Uva, east and central provinces were affected by the cyclone, and several roads have been obstructed by fallen trees, while electricity has been disconnected. The storm that hit Velikanda, Diulagala, Lankapura and several other areas in the Polonnaruwa district yesterday damaged 540 houses totally and leaving 133 houses partially damaged. Relief work is being carried out by the Velikanda Divisional Secretariat Office and the Grama Niladhari and Samurthi Development Officers of the area. Meanwhile, several houses have been damaged in the Uttacheni and Vadamuni Grama Niladhari division areas of Batiklo. About 80 affected families have been temporarily housed in the Uttacheni Tamil school. Meanwhile, 40 houses have been damaged in the Medagama area in Bibele as well. Houses in the Senapatiya, Aivela, Nannapurava, Kotabova, Arakmedilla, Bibile and Kohokumbura areas in the Medagama Divisional Secretariat Division were damaged. Roads were blocked with the falling trees and electricity was disconnected to these areas. The Economic Development Ministry together with the Disaster Management Ministry have begun the provision of relief facilities. The Met Department says that this kind of storms could occur these days with wind speeds of between 60 to 70 kilometers per hour. And this is one such storm that hit yesterday. The department also says that these storms move towards only one direction.
Well, several 100,000 people viewed the Rupavahini Bauddha Aloka Vesak zone today, which is the final day. The Vesak zone is jointly organized by the All Ceylon Buddhist Association and the Sri Lanka Rupavahini. The zone consists of puppet shows, lanterns and other decorations. Large crowds are visiting the zone at present, and transport arrangements will be available till midnight tonight.
Meanwhile, several hundred thousand devotees worshipped at the sacred Sripada mountain this year. The Sripada season commenced at the Unduak Full Moon Poya Day and ended with the Vesak Full Moon Poya Day. The casket of relics, the statue of God Saman, the divine attire were all kept for exposition for 6 months in the upper chamber of the Sripada, and they were taken in a colourful procession at the auspicious time of 5:47 this morning to be taken down to the Galpottavala Rajamahavihare in Palmadulla. The procession came into the Saman Devalaya in Ratnapura and will pass through Nalatanya. The procession with the divine attire will reach Galpottavala Vihare via Nalatanya. An all-night Pirit chanting ceremony will be held at the Buddhist Center in Nalatanya in respect of bringing the relics there today. Tomorrow morning, the procession will leave for the Saman Devalaya in Ratnapura. The procession with the divine attire will also reach Galpottavala Rajamahavihare tomorrow afternoon. The Perahera was organised under the Anusasana and direction of the chief incumbent of the Sri Pada, Venerable Benagamuye Dhammadina Thera. We go in for a short break. More local stories when we return.
Welcome back, and we move on to more local news. The Sri Lankans in Chennai also celebrated Vesak in Chennai. The religious functions organized in this connection was centered with the Sri Lanka Mahabodhi Society in Chennai. The functions included Amisa and Pratipatti Pujas. Several foreign Buddhists also attended these functions. The Sri Lankan High Commission Office in Chennai organized Vesak celebrations annually. The Deputy High Commissioner of Sri Lanka in India, Anura Rajakaruna, also attended the Vesak functions.
Punareen in the Kilinochchi district will be developed as a new town. Several administrative buildings are being constructed at the moment, and this special Rupavahini report brings you a view on the development. The development of the Punareen town as a new town is in keeping with the A32 Manaram Navatkuli road, which is passing through the town. The A32 road, which was not developed for several years in the past, is now being reconstructed. After the completion of this work, it will be the shortest route to Jaffna from the Vani area. The bridge connecting Sangupiti and Karathiyu jetties has now become a reality. The Sangupiti bridge serves as a stage for tourists visiting the area as well. In the reawakening of the Punareen town, 8 administrative buildings will be constructed. They are the Pradesha Sabha building, the Public Library, the Fisheries Inspection Office, a Post Office, Livestock Office, and an Agrarian Services Centre. These buildings are being constructed under the Uttara Vasante program. The construction work on the Punareen Hospital, for which the foundation stone was laid by the President on the 11th of July last year, is now nearing completion and is scheduled to be vested with the people by the end of this month. The Punareen Madhya Mahavidyalaya is also included in the program of 1,000 schools development. In place of temporary thatched classrooms, 3 two-storied buildings are being constructed. Accordingly, the new Punareen town will become a fully fledged new town with all infrastructure facilities in place.
Well, it is believed that 500,000 people in Sri Lanka are suffering from thalassemia. The Health Ministry informs that the majority of them are in the northwestern, north central, Uva, central and the western provinces. The northwestern province is the most affected area in the country. This was stated in a message issued by the Ministry of Health in connection with International Thalassemia Day today. The importance of everyone checking their blood to have thalassemia-free Sri Lanka has been emphasized as the theme of this year's Thalassemia Day. It is believed that 4% of the world population is affected by this disease. The number amounts to 269 million persons. Every year, 100,000 to 300,000 thalassemia patients get added to the list. In Sri Lanka, 8,200 children are born annually with this disease. This disease is inherited through family lines due to gene problems. The government has provided special treatment services for thalassemia children, and the National Thalassemia Centre has been established in the Kurunegala Teaching Hospital. In addition to this, special blood testing centres have also been established at Ragama Teaching Hospital, Badula General Hospital and Anuradhapura Hospital. As thalassemia is a family inherited disease, one or several in a family could get affected by this disease. The child born to parents having this disease also becomes a thalassemia patient. The doctors say that by taking a blood test before marriage, the birth of thalassemia children could be avoided.
තැලසීමියා රෝගීන්ගේ මමත් සහ පියා දෙදෙනාම තැලසීමියා වාහකෙක්. විවාහ ජෝඩුවක මව හෝ පියාගෙන් එක් අයෙක්වත් තැලසීමියා වාහක නොවේ නම් ඒ දෙපළට දාව උපදින කිසිම දරුවෙක්
The 2012 Biennial Conference of the Commonwealth Association for Public Administration and Management will be held from the 24th to the 26th October this year in New Delhi. The three-day event of this member-supported non-profit association devoted to enhancing good governance and excellence in public administration across the Commonwealth will focus on the challenges of achieving national objectives for development, citizen service and public administration. A conference in this regard was held in Colombo today, which was attended by Minister W.D. Senivaratne and UN representatives. Meanwhile, a two-day regional workshop on decentralization and climate change kicked off today. In Colombo, it was jointly organized by the United Nations Human Settlements Programme and Management Resources for Good Governance. The goal of the workshop is to create a platform for nations to share the process and initial findings of their scoping exercise, so far as to help them compare the findings with other countries. Decision makers, practitioners and stakeholders from Nepal, Myanmar, Laos, Vietnam, Cambodia, Philippines, the Pacific Islands and Sri Lanka participate in the workshop. The workshop discusses climate change and decentralization in Sri Lanka and the region, the localization of climate change initiatives through participatory approaches and mechanisms, and how guidelines on decentralization can be mobilized to support efforts in Sri Lanka to operationalize existing laws on decentralization in order to facilitate effective climate response and action. Minister Anura Priyadarshini Yapa and several dignitaries graced the occasion.
Well, the funeral of the well-known philanthropist in the Kottapulla area of Moravaka, Mrs. H.G.B. Hettige, will be held at the Kottapulla National School grounds tomorrow evening. Mrs. Hettige is the mother of President's Secretary for Parliamentary Affairs, Kumarasiri Hettige. The 86-year-old Mrs. Hettige was the mother of 7 children. President Mahinda Rajapaksa visited the house yesterday and paid his last respects. Several ministers and parliamentarians also paid their last respects. The Secretary to the Ministry of Defence and Urban Development, Gotabaya Rajapaksa, also paid his last respects today. We'll be back with foreign news just after this break, so please do stay. Moving on to news overseas now. China has agreed with Iran to pay for their oil imports in yuan instead of US dollars. China is the main oil importer from Iran. China is attempting to promote yuan as an alternative for the US dollar in international transactions. Iran has also taken steps to buy goods and services from China. However, America is exerting pressure on China to boycott oil purchases from Iran. The dispute between Iran and the United States and the Western nations on Iran's nuclear program have led to these conflicts. However, Iran insists that its nuclear program is purely for peaceful purposes.
Welcome to Sports News on Rupavahini. The West Indies women's cricket team have won the T20 cricket tournament against Sri Lankan women's cricket team. The West Indies team has won 3 matches in the 5-match series. However, in the match played yesterday, in Sri Lanka team batting first scored 94 runs for the loss of 7 wickets in the 20 overs. West Indies in reply scored only 80 runs for the loss of 9 wickets in their 20 allotted overs. Accordingly, Sri Lanka won the 4th T20 by 14 runs. The 5th match is scheduled to be played tomorrow.
Well, that's all the news we have for you tonight. Do join us tomorrow at the same time for more. Until then, it's a very good night from Rupavahini.
Good night.